So Apple held our WWDC event last night, 2022 edition, where we saw the new versions of iOS, iPadOS, watchOS, macOS, and all of that.
Right.
Both of us saw that, and there were some interesting announcements on there.
Yeah.
Let's start with the iOS, which is iOS 16. That's going to be launching by summer or maybe by September time. So the thing that struck out the most was the lock screen, which can be customized heavily. Now, talk to us a little bit about that.
So one of the cool things that they've done is that, I mean, let's just be honest, if you're an Apple user, you know your lock screen is pretty bland. Notifications are just there. Time is just there.
A roll of notifications.
An unnecessary, unorganized roll of this. So what they've done this time is, first and foremost, they've added nice depth effects to the wallpaper itself. So if you, let's say, put a picture of a person, you get a nice foreground, a nice background, and smack in the middle of the two is the time. Then what they've done is they've given you customization where you can add widgets that you like, and then notifications from the bottom.
Nice.
So what they've done is they've made it a nice, like, interactive space, but you still get your concentration on the photo, you still get to know the time, you still get your this. So it at least in the preview, it looks really nice.
I like the widgets part where you can have your upcoming calendar appointments or the weather widget or anything else that you kind of want.
That was really good. I like that.
They also have these multiple screens that you can swipe across to have different focus modes on there, which also I think is pretty cool.
Yeah, I love focus modes. I've used them forever now. I have a focus mode for almost everything I do. And to have a matching wallpaper will be really nice. So like when I'm at work, I can just have a dark wallpaper, you know, not distracting, etc. Whereas, I don't know, if I'm out and about, a wallpaper with just the time and nothing else. It's the same thing you do in the Apple Watch, that works out perfectly.
Excellent. And you mentioned that the notifications come in from the bottom. They also have these live notifications that are somewhat similar to that, where if you've ordered an Uber, you can see the time it's going to take, or scores from different games and stuff like that.
So I think that's going to take time until people start accepting it. But and especially in the US where live updates, sports, all that is going to work out. I don't know when it's going to come here because we still don't have live updates on news over here. But it'll be a good feature, and like we were discussing, if the food apps and stuff pick it up, it could be really nice. Like it's something that I'm constantly doing where once I've ordered food, I'm just checking
how far your rider is and stuff like that. No, that'd be nice. That'd be quite nice. Other improvements they made on iOS was messaging. So messaging, you can now undo a message if you've sent someone, recall that, and also edit messages, which is kind of nice and brings it in line with some of the other messaging services.
iMessages, at least I know that the people in the US are obsessed with it. Still can't completely get on board with it, but it's getting there. It's slowly getting there.
We're WhatsApp Nation over here.
We're WhatsApp Nation over here, 100%.
Fair enough. The third thing that we wanted to speak about for iOS 16 was Apple Pay. So tell us what they've done with that.
So apart from generic updates to IDs and stuff like that, which is again all US-based stuff, I would love to have my Emirates ID on my Apple Wallet. That would be great. And I'm sure, like the UAE being as smart savvy as it'll come. But the main thing that they've done is Apple Pay Later. So what that basically is that Apple is jumping into the installment space. So you can have up to 3-4 installments. They're not going against the banks who are like the 8, 12, 24 months, but they're kind of going up against your Spotty, Tabby and stuff locally. I don't know when it's going to be available for us locally, but I think it's a good path. It integrates completely into the wallet. You get to know when your payments are due, how much is due, gives you reminders, all seamless.
So from what I understood, it's part of Apple Pay and there doesn't need to be anything new. So maybe we might have it working on day one.
Maybe.
Who knows? We'll find that out.
Hopefully. Cool. We can only hope. So next up, we've got watchOS. Now watchOS brought 2 updates that I loved. I mean, they brought a lot of updates. 2 that I loved were, one was medications. Fantastic. So the idea is complete logging in system of your medications, getting reminders. I mean, it's basically the digital replacement of that little box that old people used to have.
Yes, absolutely.
It's the digital replacement of that box. You don't have to remember the names of your medication. You can just take a picture of the bottle and it'll get the information out and start logging it for you. It'll give you reminders if you missed it. You can see patterns. You know, maybe you missed too many times or something like that.
Absolutely.
You can show it to your doctors. All shareable information if you want to share it. You can share it with family, etc. That was one, and the second.
I think that's great for older folks, especially the fact that you can share it with family, so you can know if you know someone that you love who's kind of old, taking the medication on track. There was another thing that I really liked about it is that if you put in 2 medications, it can tell you if they're compatible with each other or not.
Oh yeah,
taking a database. I think that's also phenomenal.
And I think alcohol as well, right?
I think so.
I think
that's phenomenal.
Yeah, that is really good. Though I mean, Anyway, let's not get there. But fine. And the second thing that they updated on the watch was sleep.
Yep.
I've been waiting for
Sleep
this
tracker.
for a while because even though I do check Apple's sleep notifications and stuff, I use a third-party app called Auto Sleep because the information is so rich. Whereas I think Apple's going to get there this year. So you'll get your REM cycles, you'll get to know how your breathing was, you'll get to know how much rest and recovery you've done. So a lot more information that was very necessary.
It's quite nice.
Because see, the Apple Health app is awesome. And sleep was the one thing that's lacking, and I think they need to kind of get it up there, especially because if you're going to make the Apple Watch a fitness device and you're going to hit that hard,
Yeah.
information has to be there.
I
That's
think
what athletes need.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's really cool. One little thing that I liked about WatchOS is that if you're using a VoIP app like Zoom or whatever else, there's a little thing that on your watch that you can either tap to mute or end the calls, which is fantastic because a lot of times when you're kind of looking to searching for the mute switch and in the call, it's right there on your watch.
To the
Just tap
point
that
where like
and-
Logitech added it to their keyboards. There's a
Yes,
button to
exactly.
switch off the call. So like now you have it
Absolutely.
on your Apple Watch. That's great.
Speaking of VoIP, FaceTime. FaceTime, hi.
Hi FaceTime, hello, hello Apple, FaceTime please. So there's a lot of updates which shared with you, which you can check up, but we're not going to mention them because they make no difference to
FaceTime,
us.
yep.
Because FaceTime.
All right, the last one that we want to talk about is macOS, updated to Ventura.
Correct.
Ace Ventura, no, not that Ventura, but Ace macOS Ventura.
Yeah.
One of the things I like about them is passkeys. Passkeys kind of goes away or does away with all your passwords. You've got a lot of apps such as 1Password and stuff that store your passwords, but a lot of people still sort of use that same password across multiple websites. Or websites get compromised, your passwords get compromised. This does away with that completely. It uses biometrics, so whether that's Face ID or Touch ID on your Mac. And the cool thing is that it's a standard that Google and Microsoft are also working on. So it's going to be cross-platform compatible with it. Hopefully makes us lose a lot less of passwords.
No, very much agreed. I mean, like for someone like my dad who is always losing his passwords, every time I set up an account for him, I have to set up a new password because he's forgotten the old one. That's great. I mean, it just makes life so much easier. And isn't that what Apple's all about? Kind of, making life easier to what people consider complications, but in general just does. And this is one of those features.
One other thing that does that is using your iPhone's camera with your Mac to sort of hold out calls, whether it's on Zoom or FaceTime again.
The rear cameras.
Absolutely.
That was really nice to see.
Isn't it?
Yeah, because like at home, a lot of people don't know this, but the lighting at home is low light. It's just that because our eyes are awesome, we can see properly. But otherwise, for cameras and stuff, it's difficult. To have the iPhone camera do that is fantastic. I think it's going to absolutely change the way you take a video call. You could be in the corner of the room and it would be fine.
100%. And because you're using the back cameras of your iPhone, which have multiple lenses and stuff, you can actually have one view which is looking straight at you. And there's a top-down view as well, I think, using the ultra-wide lens, which is fantastic. So you can kind of show what you're actually working on the desk using that same camera. I think
amazing.
Works really, really well.
It does. I like it.
All right, and the final thing was Stage Manager. Now, when they showcased this for the Mac, which is sort of another way of managing your windows and what you're working on, I was a little bit confused. We already have that on the Mac. There's a dock at the bottom. You can choose your apps, switch them around. But then they showed it on the iPad. And that is very interesting because the iPad's never had a Windows management system. Now, you do need an M1 based iPad, which means an iPad Pro.
Power.
Yes, exactly, absolutely. But hey, you've got the whole macOS running on an M1 on your MacBook. So
but
why? You know what I'm saying?
I think they just want to guarantee the experience.
Maybe so.
And it's not just Pros. The new Air has the M1,
that too.
So it's not like it's unaffordable. You can get it at a decent price. But I've waited for this forever. I mean, you know this.
That's true. You were an iPad user.
Oh my God!
I
had switched. I was like, no, I'm gonna join the modern world, and I'm gonna just use an iPad. No MacBooks. I'm not gonna be dependent. And I did it. I did it for almost 9 months. But the only reason I switched was because switching from app to app was so bad. And I think one of the reasons they've also chosen M1 is because of the power of doing everything together and keeping it open. That's one thing I think they've gone with, because now with the display, the iPad can open 8 apps at the same time.
That's true.
That's amazing. I was telling you this, I can't wait to see if I could use the camera to record a video, use a audio software to record audio, and maybe like a docs thing to have my script open, and next thing you know, I've got an absolute
full-featured computer, absolutely.
Full-featured machine, like to create content. I mean, just imagine just having your iPad with you and being able to do A to Z.
No, totally, and it's got a Thunderbolt port on the iPad, so I think you can technically do that. How much of that Apple actually allows, something we're going to need to test out and see. But I'm excited about this feature.
I'm definitely excited. Everything is in the right direction. Let us know what you thought in the comments below. We'd love to know your thoughts. If you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe, and thank you very much for watching.